The movie begins with a group of friends sitting together. Two couples sit across each other, telling stories of their wonderful lives together. Hao and Lindsay, the traveler couple, narrate their stories of hiking while the other couple, Molly and Sam, feign interest. Molly and Sam are the protagonists of our story, and they have been together for about 3 years. On their ride back home, the two discuss how annoying Hao and Lindsay are. They talk about how they were served fernet, something they didn't expect. Sam is totally against the idea of getting together with them ever again, but Molly opposes it since she has been friends with Lindsay since college. Talking about the other couple, they finally reach home. This is when Molly comments that even though they make other people miserable, Lindsay and Hao are happy together. But Sam cuts her off, saying that it is all just an act. Lindsay and Hao are not happy the way Molly and Sam are. The next day, which is also their 3rd anniversary of being together, Molly wakes up to the sound of their dog, Donnie, barking. Sam gets her some breakfast in bed, and they share a cute kiss. He pushes her back on the bed and starts kissing passionately on the neck, but stops when she says that she isn't happy. He looks at her surprised, but she starts apologizing. He gets up, and she admits that she wasn't planning on saying anything on their special day and to ruin it, but the words just slipped out of her mouth. She tells him about how wonderful he is, and that she wants to be happy with him, but every time that she tries to talk to him, he gets mad. Sam gets up from the bed, and she follows him. He is furious, and calls her feelings a lie because whenever things are fine, she gets unhappy. Accidentally, he steps on a claw clip and curses out loud. Molly sighs and says that they are not fine. She knows that they aren't perfect, but she wants the most perfect version of imperfectness. Sam calms down a bit and asks her what she misses. Her response about missing the person he was 3 years ago angers him a bit more. She tells him that the breakfast he got her is everything that he likes, and none of them are her favorite. She accuses him of not even trying to do something special for her on their anniversary. She tells him that it has been ages since he did something just for her, and the guy she met 3 years ago was a romantic. With this, we are taken back in time to their first meeting 3 years ago. Upon entering the restaurant, Sam sees Molly sitting alone at the bar, having a drink. He approaches her, mistaking her for someone named Shira Weinberg. When she denies it, he starts waiting for Shira, but before she can arrive, he starts flirting with Molly, complimenting her eyes. He then introduces himself and they get into small conversation. This is when he tells her that he is here for an internet date. While waiting for Shira to arrive, they connect over similar likes and dislikes. Their conversation stops when Shira arrives. And before leaving, he whispers in her ear that he will be thinking about her all time. Back in the present, Molly, while sitting on the toilet, reminds him of the edible arrangement he once sent her. Sam sighs, saying that version of him was hated by her. She denies the accusation, but he starts spitting facts. As he keeps reminding her of his personality from the past, she deems it as depressing. On the other hand, Sam believes that her idealization of the past, even when she was never happy. Talking, they get to the kitchen. She opens the drawer and finds it full of food, but still complains about having nothing to eat. He reminds her of the breakfast he got, but their conversation is interrupted when Donnie arrives. They kneel to pet him. While Sam tries calming him down, Molly warns Donnie of the creature that is lurking in the shadows to catch him. Seeing her behavior, Sam groans and then sighs. To make the situation a bit better, he wishes her a happy anniversary, but she terms it as just a day. With that, we are once again taken back in time to last night. While Molly is sharing her thoughts about her anniversary with Lindsay, Sam spills his heart to Hao. Where she believes it is time to move on, he strongly believes that it is time to commit and get married. Hao and Lindsay start telling them the story of their last anniversary in Dubrovnik. Back to the argument going on in the present, Sam is trying to sort things out, but Molly rushes out after getting a notification. Turns out that she has to take him to chemotherapy, and this leads to another argument where she accuses Sam of sugarcoating things. While walking towards her car, she shouts that her father is terminally ill and she isn't happy with her life. Sam tells her to tone down her volume, but the fact that he doesn't want the neighbors to know infuriates her more. She calls him a coward, embarrassed to face his neighbors if they find out that his girlfriend is not happy with him, ashamed to talk about money in the taxi, fearing that the driver might hear them complaining when he probably has worse issues than them. She then accuses him of caring for others so much that he forgets to care for her. Still not giving up, he decides to drop her to her parents. On their ride, Molly realizes that today, Sam has some big thing at work, and when he wants her support the most, she gives him a fight. She begins to apologize, but then shouts at him saying that she cannot control her emotions. He then blames her for all the problems that they have. Because for the past 3 years, she has been just idling around and not falling deeply in love. Back in time, Molly can be seen getting ready for a dinner party. Sam asks her to be quick, calling her the reason that they are late in the first place. She reasons by saying that she is putting all this effort only to make him look good. They reach the location and are the first ones there. Molly doesn't miss the opportunity to taunt him for forcing her to get ready. That night in bed, Sam tries to get intimate, but she pushes him away, too focused on her tablet. Early the next morning, they begin their day with a fight, and after the whole day at night, he tries getting intimate and she pushes him away. This pattern continues for several days. Back in the present, Molly reminds him of the time when he said that he would only be happy after she passed away. He tries to deny it, but knows that he said that. Molly sighs and asks him about any reason that makes him sure that the two of them are endgame. Back in their memories, we are taken to the time when they went on their first date to a restaurant. There, Molly tells him that she is a vegetarian, except for the fact that she eats fish, prosciutto, fennel sausage, and pepperoni on pizza. That night, he takes her to his place and gets lucky. A few days later, the two of them adopted Donnie together. Their life was good and happy. They used to spend their whole day waiting for each other and spend special moments at night. Sam also remembers the time when they found out about her father. At that moment, Molly admitted that she never wanted to lose Sam, not until they were 70 and tired of each other. Back in the present, Molly says that everything about their situation is too hard. Sam, the peacemaker, tries to settle everything down by telling her that no one is forcing her to get married. She can take some time. She shouts at him, saying that she doesn't have more time to waste. Sam takes it completely wrong, thinking that she doesn't think him worthy enough to have a baby with. They stop in front of her parents' place. She says that there is a lot of pressure on her that he cannot understand. She is in her 30s, and if he is not the guy who will be the father of her children, then she needs to budget time to find the guy. Annoyed at her, Sam gives in and says that she is right. The two of them should end things, and she should set on her journey to find the perfectly imperfect man that she desires. She sighs, admitting that everything is taking a toll on her, especially her parents. The scene shifts to her parents, working side by side in their kitchen, but not barely interested in each other. Back in the car, Sam tells her that they are not her parents, but she is worried about staying in a relationship, just to stay together. To get her thoughts together, she offers to stay at her parents' house for some time, saying that space would be good for both of them. She gets out of the car, and he is shocked to find that she has a fully packed suitcase in the trunk. Extremely angry, Sam tells her to pick up the rest of her stuff later that day and drives away. Sam heads over to a friend, Ed, and tells him the entire story. Ed is working with some shirts, printing labels on them. He is furious at Molly and calls her a waste of time. He accuses her of using him for 3 years, 3 golden years of his life, and now disposing of him. Sort of wanting to defend her, Sam calls their situation complicated. But Ed has made up his mind that Molly is an awful person who doesn't deserve Sam. Still wanting to defend the situation, Sam tells Ed that with her, all good and bad sides of him come forward, and sometimes he ends up saying things that he would never say in a million years. Ed terms his behavior as basic human behavior and calls him a good human. He then pulls him in a hug, and Sam calms down a lot. After they pull apart, Sam admits that he is a lot better, but still checks his phone for any text from Molly. Ed sighs and calls him a hopeless romantic who just gave his number to a girl and is waiting for the first text. Ed's words trigger a memory, and we are taken back in time to Sam sitting in his office. Even though he is busy working, he keeps on waiting for any messages from Molly and smiles like a lunatic when she finally sends something. He saves her number, feeling like he accomplished something really big. Back from the memory lane, Ed starts making plans for him to get over Molly. He decides that he will set him up with one of Priya's mates. Priya is Ed's significant other. Sam, recently heartbroken, is totally against the prospect of dating again and thinks that maybe arranged marriages are better than doing the process by yourself. On the other hand, Molly is sharing her problems with her mom, Diane, who is not even the least bit interested in it. Molly keeps on ranting, but stops when she finds that her mom has her earphones plugged in and is listening to the Bible. Exasperated, Molly makes up her mind to stay with her friend after one night at her parents' place. Her mom sighs and says that she knows Molly will work everything out because she has always been like this while making decisions. While trying to explain how the situation is different, her mom misunderstands that Molly is expecting her first child. She clears the misunderstanding and gets up to take her father, Aldo, to his therapy session. Meanwhile, Ed and Sam are still having a deep conversation. Ed believes that Molly is probably with another guy by now, but Sam doesn't want to believe it. Ed then tells him that he and Sam's mom always hated Molly. Ed steers the conversation away from Molly to the person Sam dated before her, Georgia. We are taken back in time to when he and Georgia were together. After remembering his ex-girlfriend for some time, he tells Ed that Georgia was an awesome person, but he always felt like something was missing between them. This talk leads him to the realization that maybe he and Molly are different. While he sees the glass as half full, she thinks of the water as a poison that can ruin them. She is the kind of person who can never be happy. Seeing his best friend in such misery, Ed encourages him to move on. Exasperated, Sam takes the change in conversation and confesses that he is tired of working in an office, and they need to get their shirts on the website as soon as possible. Their conversation stops when Priya arrives with a basket full of laundry for Ed. He takes it from her. She leaves and he gets to work. Sam looks at him dumbfounded, because a moment ago Ed was teaching him to be a dominant person. But turns out that Priya is expecting their first child, so Ed does as much as he can to help her. While they are talking about kids and how that will affect them, their buyer arrives. A woman, named Willa, tells them that she needs to pick up her kids from school soon. Realizing he might have messed up a little, Sam tries to rectify the situation by saying that kids are cool. The scene switches to Molly riding with her dad to his chemo session. She finds a wig inside the car. Turns out Diane has been buying wigs for Aldo since he started chemo. The conversation diverts to her relationship with Sam, when Aldo inquires why he hasn't asked her to marry him. She dodges the question by saying that they are still figuring things out, and even if they do figure things out, she is sure they won't end up getting married because marriages are just a waste of time and money. Aldo tries to explain how beautiful the marriages are, but she says that she is going to say no, even if Sam asks. But at the same time, she is pretty sure that he would never be going to ask because he is not capable of making big decisions. We are taken back in time to when she asks his opinion about which color should they paint the doors at their home, and he wasn't even able to decide. One time, he got her a gift card instead of getting her an actual gift, and he has always been terrible at deciding where to eat. Back in the present, Aldo tells Molly that Sam doesn't want to take charge because Molly is very particular about the things she likes. Molly then remembers all the times when Sam decided to do something, and she didn't like it. One time while making love, she wasn't satisfied, and kept asking Sam to do different things. And on one Christmas, when he got her a gift, instead of a gift card, she hated it. Same as when he decided what to eat, she opposed it. Back from memory lane, Molly finds Aldo telling her that she has been like this since always. It is either her way or the highway. On the other hand, Ed and Sam are showing their designs to their potential buyer. They pitch their product to her, and she finds it intriguing, but they mess it up when they offer her a chair, forgetting that there was ink on it. When she stands up to take a close look at the products, the back of her white shirt has little patterns on it. Ed curses, but they don't tell Willa about the little problem. Meanwhile, Aldo and Molly finally reach the hospital. While waiting for his appointment, Aldo reads magazines. Annoyed, Molly goes to get a drink, and on her way back, the pediatrics ward captures her eyes. She stands at the window, looking at all the newly born babies. Her attention diverts when she sees a familiar figure approaching her. Arik, an old friend, ex-boyfriend to be exact. Turns out that he is now married, and his wife, Talia, just gave birth. She congratulates him and comments that he will become a great father. Finding this as the perfect opportunity, she asks how he knew that Talia was the one for him. Arik smiles and says that a person can never know. Before leaving, he compliments that she looks good. Molly stands there and remembers the time when she moved in with Eric for the first time. He was fun and made him feel loved. On her way back from the hospital, she tells Aldo that it is too late now because Arik now has a baby and a Talia. On the other hand, Ed and Sam try to remove the ink from Willis's dress, but it does not come out. She gives them the time, until the shirt dries, to make her buy their products. Sam's pitch is interrupted several times by Molly calling him. He first dismisses something not important, but Will understands and tells him to pick up the call. He furiously answers the call, telling Molly that he cannot talk right now, but her hysterical behavior and the way she was asking him to come home confuses him. After she hangs up the call, Sam gets back to work. Willa inquires about what the situation is. He lies at first, but knowing that he messed up with her shirt, he tells her the truth. Willa orders him to go home to Molly. Sam gets home and is immediately overwhelmed by a weird smell. He runs in to find Molly and sees her sitting on the kitchen floor with Donnie in her lap. Turns out that she came back to pick up her stuff, but found Donnie barking. After investigating, she came to know that there was a skunk in their backyard, hence the smell. They now need to bathe him in orange juice to get rid of the smell. Since they don't have any orange juice, they bathe him in the cocktail. He splashes it on them. They laugh and start pouring the cocktail on one another. Donnie jumps out of the bathtub and runs out. Trying to catch him, the two of them fall on the bathroom floor. They laugh at the fact that Donnie is in their bed making a mess. Laughing, they get all intimate and share a passionate kiss. On the other hand, Willa checks her shirt, and since it is dry, she tells Ed that their time is up. Suddenly Priya arrives and looks at them with suspicion. Willa clears the air by explaining the actual situation. Meanwhile, after sharing a heated moment, Sam and Molly laugh, and he says that this was one of the top 3 moments that they had. Laughing, they remember the time when they went on a trip. The two of them role-played that night in the hotel, with Molly acting as a prostitute and him as a businessman. They even let the hotel believe this. Back in the present, Molly apologizes for what she did in the morning and says that she just wants to be happy. She then asks about his meeting, and he remembers that he needs to go. As Sam is getting ready to leave, a message on Molly's tablet catches his eye. It is from Eric saying that he cannot stop thinking about her and that he needs to see her. Molly is in the bathroom and sees the messages on her phone. She replies that this is not the right time, and in response, he sends a picture of his male reproductive part. Grossed out, she puts the phone back. Sam enters the bathroom and asks who was texting her. Not knowing that he has read the conversation via her tablet, she lies saying that it was her mom complaining about her dad. Angry that she lied, he shows her the tablet and leaves. Molly follows him out, saying that this isn't what he thinks it is. The two of them get into a fight, with him accusing her of lying to him and not turning down Eric immediately. She follows him out of the house and says that it isn't like he never had thought about sleeping with Georgia. Annoyed, Sam shouts that no, he has never thought such vile things while being in love with her. This time, Molly tells him to lower his volume, or else the neighbors will hear them. In a moment of vulnerability, Sam says that his life with Georgia would have been way normal, a life without Molly Mangini and her craziness. Furious, he walks out. Upon reaching Ed's place, he finds Willa gone. To sort the mess, he finds her there at her kid's school. He tries to apologize to her, but she tells him to leave and that she will contact him later. Already having a bad day, Sam snaps and says he knows very well that she will never call him. He curses at her and her skills. After he stops, Willa comments that it looks like things didn't go well with Molly. At her mention, Sam sobers up and admits that they are now done. After he calms down, Willa gives him a few ideas about what he can do with his t-shirt brand. Turns out that she has decided to promote his fashion line. After closing the deal with Will, Ed and Sam leave. After dropping Ed off at his place, Sam tells him that he misses Georgia and drives away. On the other hand, Molly can be seen lying in her childhood bed, heartbroken. Diane arrives and for the first time in a long time, gives Molly her undivided attention. She is sad that Sam called her crazy and believes that maybe he is right. Diane tries to reassure her, but Molly says that at this moment she needs her best friend, Sam. At this, Diane smiles and comments that she has known from the very start that Molly loves Sam deeply. So now, instead of sitting in her bed sulking, she should go and mend what has been broken. Not convinced, Molly says that no matter what, they will end up breaking up. She says that Diane and Aldo should never have married, and now she would not commit the same mistake. Diane holds her hands and advises her to not miss out on somebody she loves just because she is scared. Finding motivation from her mom's words, she gets up from her bed, goes down to her father, and apologizes for being mean to him before he was sick. The father-daughter duo share a tender moment and she drives out to meet with Sam. She calls Sam, but he never picks up. Desperate, she then calls Ed. Ed is happy that Sam is ignoring Molly, but she snaps at him and says that she loves Sam and will do anything to get back together with him. Sighing, Ed tells her that the last thing Sam said to him was about Georgia. Molly hangs up the call and steers her car in the direction of Georgia's house. She knocks at the door, only to find her married and with a child. Realizing her mistake, she makes up an excuse that her car broke down and Georgia invites her inside. Once inside, she is shocked to find that Georgia recognized her. Embarrassed, Molly apologizes. On the other hand, while driving aimlessly around the city, another memory surfaces in Sam's mind, a happy memory. He goes to the same place and gets Molly's favorite shake. Unfortunately, he bumps into Lindsay and Hao. She asks him about Molly, and Sam lies, saying that he is just getting a few things. Annoyed by their behavior, he tries to leave, but they stop him for a picture. Trying to get rid of them, he quickly snaps a picture and leaves. Meanwhile, Molly gets back home looking for Sam. In their bedroom, The breakfast is still sitting on the bed. Hungry, she starts eating. Upon opening the jam, she is shocked to find a key inside. The flashbacks of the day come to her mind when Sam was practically begging her to try the jam. Realizing that it is the key to the same hotel they once stayed in, she quickly gets in the car. On her way to the hotel, she makes a quick attempt at getting ready. The scene switches to Sam checking in at the hotel. The receptionist asks if Molly will be joining him, and with a broken heart, he says no. He enters the room and starts drinking. After some time, he goes out to the bar and finds a beautiful woman sitting there. He tries to engage in small talk with her, trying to flirt. He tries to recreate his first meet-cute with Molly, but the girl doesn't match the vibe. Soon Molly arrives. She is shocked to see a wedding happening at the hotel, and the bride and groom seem to be in their late 60s. After 52 years of knowing each other, they finally got married. The scene unfolding makes her eyes well up because the couple has the same anniversary as her. The scene switches to Sam, where the girl tells him that she had a bad day and a worse neck massage. He offers to massage her neck and goes up to her room. Molly reaches the room and starts waiting for Sam, recalling the day's events. When Sam gets back, he is shocked to find her there. She apologizes for her behavior and confesses her love. Overwhelmed by emotions, they share a passionate kiss. She tells him that she is ready to spend the rest of her life with him. The movie ends, with Molly and Sam riding their car back home.